Gizzo, you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business. And listen, you can tap in and you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in. So let's get right into it. And yes, man, Regina King, you're the topic of discussion. Regina King, you're the topic of discussion. Now, first and foremost, I want to send my condolences and I want to say RIP to her son who allegedly, he committed suicide at the age of 26. RIP to her son who allegedly committed suicide at the age of 26. Now, I've been having a lot of people in the DMs again. Always shout out to everybody in the DMs. You already know we locked in. And, you know, they've been saying, GMB, we want you to speak more about the higher ups and the elites. GMB, we want you to speak more about the higher ups and the elites. And when I saw that Regina King's son allegedly committed suicide at the age of 26, a light bulb went off in my head. A red flag went off immediately. And I said, I'm going to use this as an example. You understand what I'm saying now? It gets deep and it gets wicked when it comes to Hollywood. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't know, I'm going to tell you, man, that's the source. That is the headquarters when it comes to the higher ups and the elites. Now, let's talk about Regina King, right? Regina King has always been an amazing actress, you know, from Poetic Justice. I mean, it's just numerous movies that she's done. She's definitely earned her chops. She's paved the way for a lot of young black females to hop in that acting game and make a way, right? She's always been lit. She's always been doing a thing. But if you pay attention, within the last 2 years, Regina King really caught traction. I'm talking about Emmy Awards, you know, Academy Awards, you know, just big awards she's won. You feel what I'm saying? Big endorsements. You understand? Vaseline, you know, the Boondocks cartoon. You know, she's just really caught traction. And a lot of the times when you're in that Hollywood game and you're playing ball, you know, you will catch fire. Is right under everybody's nose because you've been in the game for a long time and you catch fire and you start to get a lot of traction, and it's not, you know, no red flags go up because you've been involved for so long. But if you pay attention, within the last 2 years, Regina King has caught fire. She's definitely got her feet wet on a whole nother level. You feel what I'm saying? And you know, it's a spooky game, but you got to pay attention. Lots of endorsements, big awards, Boondocks, different adventures. You understand? Big money. You know what I'm saying? And for the most part, nobody's really caught wind of that. Nobody's really paid too much of attention to that. But if you watch and you look at Regina King at this present moment, she's elite. She's top shelf when it comes to black actresses. You know, she surpassed almost everybody. She is the Kevin Hart of black actresses right now. She is at the top of the mountain. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, again, when you're playing ball in Hollywood, when you're dibbling and you're dabbling, you feel me? For the most part, the sheep are not gonna be startled. They're not gonna pay too much attention when it's a lot of action going on. You feel what I'm saying? And you know, I wanted to just put that out there to just give you guys a glimpse of what I'm talking about. You know, if you do your research in the last couple of years, she's really start catching good traction with the Boondocks, with all the endorsement deals. You understand, with the Emmy Award and the Academy Award that she's won. You feel what I'm saying? And you already know how we do here at Grown Man Business TV. We coming from multiple different angles. Multiple different angles. You understand what I'm saying? Now, Noriega said it best, man. He said, you know, when you start making progress in that area, in that field of work, you know, you eventually come across 2 or 3 doors that you have to walk through to get to the next level. And Noriega, you know, Nori said this on the Drink Champs podcast. You understand what I'm saying? It is what it is. He said, one door that he saw was the Rainbow Coalition. You will either go through that door, or the other door was, it's a word that I don't like to use because so many people have used this word to where it sounds cliche now. It doesn't have the substance that it had behind it at one point. But I'm gonna go ahead and say it. The other door is like a sacrifice door. You might, you have to sacrifice something or somebody. And then that third door, he said, was a door where you don't do any of those things and you go out on your own. Let's see if you see if you're as big as you can be dealing with us, or if you can do it on your own. You go out on your own. You have to go out on your own. You understand what I'm saying? Now, when it comes to those doors, you got to understand that it's different for men and women. And not just men and women, but different for white and black. You understand? Different for every different. Now, you're going through the same three doors, but when you walk through them, you understand, when you walk through these doors, it's different options for different people. It's different options for different races. You understand? Let me give you an example. For a male, right? You might have something like Michael Jackson and his father. People say that was a sacrifice, right? Or you might have somebody like a Kevin Hart, where it's not a sacrifice being made, but you have him wearing dresses on multiple occasions, and not just wearing dresses. On the last situation, just recently with Kevin Hart, he put a dress on and he hopped in the lap of a big, Caucasian man on television in front of the whole world to see. You get all that money just to put a dress, just to end up at the top of the mountain with a dress on and sitting in the lap of some white guy, right? So, like I said, when it comes to women, it's different. It might be a sacrifice, or, it could be a sacrifice, right? Or it could be something like Halle Berry in Monsters Ball. For a lot of you youngins that haven't seen Monsters Ball, we got Netflix now, we got Hulu. Go in there, type in Monsters Ball and just watch the whole movie. And I'm sure you're going to see a scene with Halle Berry and Billy Bob Thornton, where it almost looked like he smashed her in real life. Like this was a movie and it almost looked like a porno flick. It was that real. And after she did that scene, she won an Oscar or something like that. You understand what I'm saying? So it's different strokes for different folks. If I must say, different strokes for different folks. You understand what I'm saying? Now, again, you already know how we doing it, man. You already know how we do here at Grown Man Business TV. It's multiple different angles, multiple different angles. And when you look at these different angles and you segue into this next angle, it should open your eyes, where it's like suicide. I'm not going to say that word too many times, but the word suicide is used so frivolously. It's used so easily in the Hollywood realm. You understand what I'm saying? Because when you say somebody committed suicide, it's almost like everybody just brushes it off and says, well, there is no case. There is nothing to look into. This person was going through something and they committed suicide. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's very easy. And, I'm not going to connect it to the music just yet, but that's what I'm saying. It's like the same thing as saying gang violence. Soon as you say gang violence, it's just like, oh, well, he got killed by a gang member, man. It just is what it is. It can't be a conspiracy. It can't be anything else. It was gang violence. Or when you say black on black violence, oh, you know what niggas do? They just kill each other. So there's no reason to look into this case. We were not going to find a killer, because nobody knows anything. And you know what black people do. That is the same thing when it comes to Hollywood and the word suicide, right? So Regina King, again, like I said, she's having the best 2-3 years of her career right now. She's at the top of the mountain. She has Vaseline endorsements. She has the Boondocks that is highly anticipated. You know what I mean? She just got an Emmy Award. She just got a Academy Award. She just walked away with one of those. She's all on TV. Every time I look at a commercial, she's there. She's in all the magazines. She's being praised at the top right now. And, You would think, like, what is her son? What could he have been going through? That's just so bad that he would have to take his own life, with his mother being Regina King. They have wealth. They have health, obviously. They have everything they want, everything they need. They're not in need for anything. They have popularity. They have opportunity. You know, what would make him take his own life? And, if you really look into that, you would be like, why would that happen? How could that happen? But it happens a lot. And especially in the Hollywood realm, it happens a lot where you have these actresses or actors that are making millions of dollars at the top of the mountain, and somebody's, you know, allegedly not happy and they take their own life. A 26-year-old young man that has the whole world to gain, has the whole bunch of years to live, a whole bunch of laps around the sun that he was supposed to be making. He out of nowhere takes his own life, and nobody says anything. It doesn't alert anybody, and everybody says, "Oh, we're going to pray for the family." Then you have grown man business TV. What I mean? You have people that are like-minded, that can see through the smoke in the mirrors. Smoke in the mirrors. I told you, it's levels to the smoke in the mirrors. It's levels to this. Now, you already know, I say it all the time, man. Multiple different angles. You already know we coming from multiple different angles. And one angle that you gotta put your eye on, you gotta open the ear to, is that the higher you go up on the totem pole, the higher you go up in these industries, because Hollywood is just like music. One thing you've heard me say is that they have learned how to sell us death. They have learned how to sell us death. Now, let's just, take a left turn off of the music, because, I've been on the music lately. And let's look at Hollywood. What have they always sold us? Horror movies, action movies, thrillers. You right? You go in there and see all kind of movies with all kind of death. When I'm talking about slavery, the Wild Wild West. I'm talking about horror movies. Jason, Freddy Krueger. I mean, you can go down the list. It's way bigger. Hollywood is way bigger than the music industry. You understand? It's the origin of this. Hollywood is the source where it started at, and everything else is subgenres off of it. And I'm just giving you some real game, man. And you sit back and you take an earful of this, right? They've learned how to sell us death. They've learned how to make it look glamorous, to the point where people see people get shot in movies and they think that's how it goes in real life. And it's not the same, my G, right? So the smoke and the mirrors, the higher ups and the elites, they play big in this game when it comes to Hollywood. That's where the real higher ups, the real elites, that's where they play, right? So again, you got Regina King having all this success, and somehow, some way, I can't say that I've seen a ritual done, a humiliation ritual done yet. I was trying to pin the Boondocks to it, but the Boondocks is not humiliating. She's only being praised for that. So it might be allegedly the sacrifice. You have to make a sacrifice. You have to be humiliated. You have to be taken to the next level in that way. You can't just walk. And how high she's climbed up the totem pole, there's no way that you're just going to go up there, get that money, get that fame and fortune. You understand? Without paying a price. Without paying a price. So I suggest that everybody look at this, just fall back. I know, it's a very trying time for the family, but keep an eye on everything. Yeah, man, RIP to her son who allegedly committed suicide, but keep an eye on everything. They're doing it right in front of your face. And again, man, shout out to everybody in the DMs. I got a lot of people in the DMs like, yo, start a Patreon. Sometimes you go in a little too deep for YouTube, But what I've learned is as long as you can articulate yourself in the right manner, you're not cussing too much, you're not doing too much, you can give the game up on YouTube. Well, you know, they're gonna see it regardless if it's on a Patreon or if it's on YouTube. What you gotta understand is when you're talking a certain way, they'll pay a couple dollars to get in. They'll send decoys in there to get it, the knowledge, to see if you know what you're talking about. So it just is what it is, man. You understand? It just is what it is. And one thing that I'm starting to realize is that when I was young, you know, these things were happening at an all-time high. I remember when Michael Jordan's dad passed away. I just couldn't believe. I was young. But I remember thinking like, damn, like Michael Jordan's dad just gets smoked on the interstate. It was like Michael Jordan, his dad just, how does that happen, bro? It's Michael Jordan's dad, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Or like when Bill Cosby was losing people. I think somebody died. I just remember being like, man. But it's been going on for so long now that it's not really appealing to a lot of people. A lot of people are not looking for that kind of fortune. When I was young, everybody wanted to be famous in that way, in the Hollywood way. Now you have other options. You know, you could YouTube it. You feel what I'm saying? Or you could do it on social media. You can get rich and famous and have the same accolades coming from a whole nother angle now. When I was younger, the only outlet you had was Hollywood or the music industry when it came to these certain things, when it came to playing with the higher ups and the elites. You know, I'm not going to make this a long one, but this one right here had to be a little longer than usual. You understand? Just a little longer than usual for me to get the point across, for me to explain what's going on, what I see. What I see. You understand? So you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business. And listen, you can tap in and you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest, and I suggest you tap in. I suggest you tap into this grown man business. I suggest you tap into this grown man content at all times. You already know what it is. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight off the brick into the bottles. Straight raw, pure, uncut, nothing stepped on. No extras, no preservatives. You know, we not sugarcoating nothing, and we ain't dressing nothing up for nobody. We giving it to you straight raw. Straight raw over here at Grown Man Business TV. You feel what I'm saying? And yes, man, you know, R.I.P. Regina King's son allegedly commits suicide at the age of 26. Wow. You understand? And like I said, Regina King's been doing a lot of acting. She's been doing movies since I was a kid. But the last 2-3 years, she's gained a lot of traction. And in the last 2 or 3 years, she's catapulted herself above the rest, above any other black female actress. Who's bigger than Regina King at this present moment? You understand? Vaseline sponsors, amongst other sponsors, Emmys Awards, Academy Awards, the Boondock Show, you know, movies. She's at the top right now. And as soon as you get to a certain level, boom, your son commits suicide at the age of 26. You know, you got to have a third eye to be able to spot these things. You can't be a sheep to be able to spot these things. You understand what I'm saying? And you know, smoke and mirrors, like I said, once you get to a certain level, you either going to play ball or they're going to wipe you out. You either going to make a move, you're going to walk through one of these doors and pick one, or you'll be the one that commits suicide. You'll be the one that ends up dead in a car accident. You'll be the one that's out of here. R.I.P. to Young Dolph, R.I.P. to Nip Hussle. You understand what I'm saying? And, you know, last but not least, like I said, man, Hollywood is the source when it comes to the higher ups and the elites. You know, the music business is big, and I've been doing, you know, I got some traction with Young Dolph and the whole thing with that. But, you know, when you dig into Hollywood, the rabbit hole is endless. You understand what I'm saying? And yes, to everybody that's asking, a Patreon, I'm working on that. I'm going to get that together. But you already know how to support. You already know how to give it up. You feel what I'm saying? You already know what time it is, man. You feel what I'm saying? And no, and not, you know, the Patreon is definitely going to be, but I like to give it. It don't matter if it's the Patreon or YouTube. I'm just going to give it to you. I'm going to give you the real. You feel what I'm saying? So you already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business. And listen, you can tap in and you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest. And I suggest you tap in. Gang.